Let tonight quiet the thoughts you couldn't turn off yourself. Let this night do what effort could not do. Let it soften the questions you kept carrying, the words you kept replaying, and the fears you kept trying to solve. You have thought enough for one day. You have searched enough. You have tried to understand enough. And perhaps the most loving thing you can do now is stop asking your tired mind to create peace by fighting itself. The harder you try not to think, the more powerful each thought can seem. You tell yourself to stop worrying, and another worry appears. You try to push away one memory, and it returns with more detail. You close your eyes, but the mind begins opening every unfinished part of the day. It brings back conversations, choices, mistakes, responsibilities, and questions about tomorrow. You may wonder why you cannot simply turn it off. You may become frustrated with yourself. You may feel as though your own mind is working against you. But your mind is not your enemy. It is not trying to ruin your night. It is not trying to keep you from peace. It may simply be tired and afraid. It may believe that if it keeps thinking, it can protect you. It may believe that if it reviews every detail, it can prevent another mistake. It may believe that if it finds the right answer tonight, you will finally be safe tomorrow. This is why forcing the mind to be quiet often does not work. The frightened part of the mind does not understand force as peace. It understands force as another danger. When you become angry with your thoughts, the mind becomes more alert. When you say, "I must stop thinking right now," the body hears pressure. When you demand sleep, the nervous system begins watching to see whether sleep is happening. The more you check, the more awake you feel. The more you struggle, the further rest seems to move away. Ace begins when I stop fighting every thought. Let those words enter gently. Peace does not always begin when the thoughts disappear. Sometimes peace begins when you stop chasing them. Sometimes it begins when you stop arguing with them. Sometimes it begins when you say, "I hear that you are afraid, but I do not have to solve this tonight." You do not need to win a battle against your mind. You do not need to prove that you are stronger than every fear. You do not need to push every thought out of the room before you are allowed to rest. You can let a thought be present without giving it your whole attention. You can notice it without following it into another hour of worry. You can allow it to pass through without turning it into a command. A thought may say, "Something will go wrong." You can answer, "That is fear speaking. It is not a fact." A thought may say, "You should have handled that differently." You can answer, "I did what I could with what I understood at the time." A thought may say, "You must fix this before morning." You can answer, "Some things become clearer after rest." A thought may say, "You are losing control." You can answer, "Rest is not losing control. Rest is allowing my body to recover. This is not about pretending that nothing matters. It is not about ignoring real problems. There may be things in your life that need attention. There may be choices you need to make, conversations you need to have, or changes you need to begin. But not everything must be handled in the middle of the night. Not every question becomes wiser because you repeat it while exhausted. A tired mind often makes everything look larger. A small uncertainty can feel like a great danger. One difficult moment can begin to look like the whole future. One unanswered message can become a painful story. One mistake can begin to feel like proof that nothing will work. This is what tiredness can do. It can remove the space between a thought and the truth. That is why tonight is not the time to judge your whole life. Tonight is not the time to decide that the future is hopeless. Tonight is not the time to measure your worth through what happened today. You are looking through tired eyes. You are listening through a tired mind. Rest first. Let morning bring a wider view. You may have spent the day trying to hold everything together. You may have smiled while your thoughts were heavy. You may have answered questions, completed tasks, helped others, carried responsibilities, and tried not to show how tired you really felt. Then the room became quiet, and everything you pushed aside began to rise. Do not be ashamed of that. The quiet did not create your pain. It only gave your hidden feelings room to speak. And now that they are speaking, you do not have to silence them with force. You can meet them with kindness. You can say, I know today was heavy. You can say, I know I have been carrying too much. You can say, I understand why my mind is still active. You can say, I am here now, and I'm not going to make this night harder by attacking myself. There is great comfort in being understood, even when the understanding comes from within. Your mind may have spent years waiting for you to stop treating it like a problem. It may have been waiting for you to say, I see how hard you have worked to protect me, but you can rest now. Perhaps you learned that worrying means you care. Perhaps you learned that being prepared means imagining everything that could go wrong. Perhaps you learned that rest must be earned. Perhaps you believe you cannot relax until every part of life is in order. But life is rarely completely in order. There will always be another task, another question, another change, another unknown. If you wait until nothing is uncertain before you allow peace, you may keep waiting. Peace must begin in the middle of an unfinished life. You are allowed to rest while some things remain unclear. You are allowed to close your eyes while someone still does not understand you. You are allowed to stop thinking about a decision for a few hours. You are allowed to leave tomorrow's work for tomorrow. You are allowed to be human enough to need sleep. Rest is not a reward for solving everything. Rest is a need. It is part of how you become able to face life again. A rested mind can see choices that a tired mind cannot see. A rested heart can respond with more care. A rested body can carry responsibility with less fear. You may think that if you stop worrying, you will become careless. But worry and care are not the same. Care takes wise action when action is possible. Worry repeats pain when no useful action can be taken. Care says, I will handle what I can. Worry says, I must control what I cannot. Tonight, ask yourself whether there is something useful you can do right now. If the answer is no, then continuing to think may not be helping you. It may only be keeping your body inside a problem that is not happening in this room. Your mind may be in tomorrow, but your body is here. Your mind may be inside an old conversation, but your body is here. Your mind may be imagining a future loss, but your body is here. Your mind may be trying to change the past, but your body is here. This moment is asking less from you than your thoughts are asking. This moment is not demanding that you understand everything. It is not asking you to know how every situation will unfold. It is only asking you to be present enough to notice that you are supported right now. The bed is holding you. The chair is holding you. The floor is beneath you. The night has arrived. The day has ended, even if your mind has not accepted it yet. You can let the day end without finishing every thought. You can let the day end without receiving every answer. You can let the day end without deciding what everything means. You can let the day end while still being uncertain. There is no failure in saying, I cannot carry this any further tonight. There is wisdom in knowing, and when thinking has stopped being useful, there is strength in stepping away from a question that has no answer yet. There is love in allowing the mind to loosen its grip. You have probably noticed that some thoughts do not become clearer through more thinking. They become more tangled. You begin with one concern, and soon you are thinking about 10 other things. The mind moves from today to years ago, from one message to every rejection, from one worry to the fear that your whole future will be difficult. This is not because the fear is true. It is because fear connects everything to itself. Fear collects old memories and uses them as evidence. It says, this happened before, so it will happen again. It says, you felt pain once, so you must stay alert forever. It says, if you relax, you may be surprised by something painful. But peace speaks differently. Peace says, the past is not happening now. Peace says, you can meet tomorrow when it arrives. Peace says, you do not have to suffer in advance to prove that you are prepared. You have already survived days you once feared. You have found answers after believing no answer would come. You have made it through moments when the mind said you could not. You have learned, adjusted, healed, and continued. Your life is not carried by worry alone. There is wisdom inside you that appears when you become quiet enough to hear it. There is strength that rises when it is actually needed. There are answers that arrive through time, rest, experience, and honest action. You do not need to create every answer with mental force. The mind may ask, but what if I forget something important? You can remind yourself that what truly needs your attention can meet you again in the morning. You can trust that you do not have to hold every thought tightly to keep your life from falling apart. The mind may ask, "What if tomorrow is difficult?" You can answer, "Then I will meet tomorrow with the strength available to me tomorrow." The mind may ask, "What if I make the wrong choice?" You can answer, "I am allowed to learn." No human life is built through perfect choices. The mind may ask, "What if I cannot handle what comes?" You can answer, "I do not have to handle the whole future tonight." The night is not asking you to become fearless. It is only inviting you to stop feeding fear for a while. You do not have to remove every worry. You only have to stop giving each worry another story. Perhaps a thought appears, and instead of following it, you can say, "Not now," not angrily, not as rejection, simply as a loving boundary. "Not now. This question can wait." "Not now. This conversation is over for tonight." "Not now. I will not judge myself while I am tired." "Not now." Tomorrow can carry its own responsibilities. A boundary with your thoughts can be gentle. It does not have to sound like a command. It can sound like a caring voice guiding a tired child away from a bright room and toward rest. You may say, "Come back to this moment." You may say, "You have done enough." You may say, "There is nothing more to solve right now." You may say, "Let the night hold what you cannot hold." Your mind may not become completely silent at once. That is all right. The goal is not to force a perfect state. The goal is to create less struggle. Even a small amount of less struggle is movement toward peace. If 10 thoughts are moving through you, you do not need to remove all 10. Perhaps you simply stop answering one of them. Perhaps you stop replaying one conversation. Perhaps you stop asking one question that has no new answer. That is enough for this moment. Peace often enters through a small opening. It does not always arrive as complete silence. Sometimes it arrives as one softer thought. Sometimes it arrives as the moment you realize you do not have to believe every fear. Sometimes it arrives when your body feels that you are no longer demanding anything from it. You have spent enough time trying to force yourself into calm. Tonight, let calm come closer through acceptance. Say to yourself, "My thoughts can be here and I can still rest." Say, "My life can be unfinished and I can still rest." Say, "I can feel uncertain and I can still rest." Say, "I do not need to earn peace by solving everything." The thoughts you could not turn off may not need to be turned off. They may need to know that you are listening with love, but you are no longer willing to follow them into exhaustion. You can hear the fear without building a home inside it. You can understand the worry without giving it the whole night. You can care about your life without holding every part of it in your mind at the same time. Tonight is not about winning against your thoughts. It is about ending the fight. And when the fight begins to end, the mind receives a new message. You are not in trouble. You are not being tested. You are not required to find every answer before morning. You are allowed to let the darkness be quiet around you. You are allowed to let the day move away. You are allowed to be supported by something other than your own effort. Peace begins when you stop pushing against yourself. It begins when you no longer treat your tiredness as a weakness. It begins when you understand that the mind has been trying to help, even when its way of helping has become painful. You can thank the mind for trying. You can release it from its work. You can say, "You have watched over me long enough today. You do not need to stand guard through the night. The problems will not become stronger because you rested. The right path will not disappear because you stopped searching for a few hours. What belongs in tomorrow will still be there tomorrow. For now, let the mind place down one thought, then another, not by force, by trust. You do not have to carry everything alone. During the day, there is always something asking for your attention. Your tasks, voices, messages, work, movement, and small decisions. Even when the mind feels heavy, the noise around you can cover some of what is happening within you. Then evening comes. The outside world becomes quieter. The responsibilities slow down. The room changes. There is less to react to. And in that quiet, the thoughts you did not have time to feel begin to rise. This can make it seem as though nighttime creates overthinking, but the night may only reveal what the day helped you avoid. A thought that stayed hidden beneath work may return when work is finished. A feeling that was pushed aside during a conversation may appear when no one else is speaking. A fear that could not get your attention while you were busy may become louder when you finally lie down. This does not mean the night is against you. It means something inside you has been waiting for space. Perhaps you spent the whole day being strong. You handled what needed to be handled. You did not have time to feel hurt, so the hurt waited. You did not have time to think about the decision, so the question waited. You did not have time to admit how tired you were, so the tiredness waited. The body remembers what the busy mind ignores. When the day becomes quiet, the body may finally say, "Now can we talk about what happened?" A conversation may begin playing again. You may hear the exact words. You may imagine what you should have said. You may wonder what the other words meant. You may search for hidden meaning in a tone, a silence, or an expression. You may believe that if you replay it enough, you will finally understand it. But often the mind is not truly searching for meaning. It is searching for safety. It wants to know whether you are accepted. It wants to know whether you are about to be rejected. It wants to know whether something has changed. The thought may be about a conversation, but the feeling beneath it may be fear. You may begin thinking about money. The mind may move through bills, work, future needs, and everything that feels uncertain. You may try to calculate every possible outcome. You may imagine what could go wrong and how you would respond. The thought may be about money, but the feeling beneath it may be insecurity. You may think about your body. You may notice every small feeling. You may wonder whether something is wrong. You may become more aware of your heartbeat, your breathing, or an uncomfortable place. Because the room is quiet, each feeling may seem larger. The thought may be about the body, but the feeling beneath it may be the need to feel safe. You may think about the past. Old memories can return at night with surprising strength. A mistake you believed you had moved beyond may suddenly feel close again. A painful moment may appear as though it happened yesterday. You may judge yourself using the knowledge you have now. The thought may be about the past, but the feeling beneath it may be regret, grief, or the need for forgiveness. You may think about someone you miss. During the day, you may have distracted yourself, but at night, the empty space feels clearer. You may wonder what they are doing, whether they remember you, whether the connection meant what you hoped it meant. The thought may be about someone else, but the feeling beneath it may be loneliness. Your thoughts are not here to punish you. They are asking for safety. They may not know how to ask gently. Fear rarely speaks in a calm voice. It uses urgent words. It says, "Think about this now." It says, "Something bad will happen if you stop." It says, "You must understand." It says, "You cannot rest until this is solved." But urgency does not always mean truth. A thought can feel powerful and still be only a thought. A fear can feel real and still not be a prediction. A memory can feel close and still belong to the past. The mind often speaks in the language of certainty when it is actually feeling uncertainty. It says, "This will never change." What it may mean is, "I am afraid it will not change." It says, "You ruined everything." What it may mean is, "I wish I could feel sure that I am still worthy." It says, "Something is wrong." What it may mean is, "I do not understand what is happening, and uncertainty is hard for me." It says, "You must keep thinking." What it may mean is, "I do not know how to trust what I cannot control." When you begin to hear the feeling beneath the thought loses some of its power. You stop treating every sentence in your mind as a fact. You begin hearing it as a message from a part of you that needs support. There is a difference between listening to a thought and obeying it. Listening says, "I notice that fear is here." Obeying says, "Because fear is here, I must follow every frightening idea." Listening says, "I understand why this memory hurts." Obeying says, "I must replay it until I feel worse." Listening says, "This decision matters to me." Obeying says, "I must decide immediately, even though I am exhausted." You can listen without entering the story. You can care about what the mind is saying without letting it control the night. Imagine that your thoughts are knocking on a door. You do not have to throw the door open and invite every thought to stay until morning. You can answer gently. You can say, "I know you are here. I will give this attention when I am able to think clearly." This is not avoidance. It is wise timing. There are thoughts that need action. There are thoughts that need a conversation. There are thoughts that need a written plan. There are thoughts that need help, care, or support. But midnight thinking is not always the best action. Exhaustion is not always the best guide. You can respect a thought without solving it immediately. Perhaps you can tell yourself, "This matters, but it does not have to be handled right now." You are teaching the mind that postponing a thought is not the same as abandoning yourself. You are promising to return when you have more strength. The mind often repeats itself because it is afraid you will forget. It believes repetition is the only way to keep something important. When you calmly name what is happening, the mind may begin to relax. You can say, "I know I am worried about tomorrow." You can say, "I know that conversation is still hurting me." You can say, "I know I need to make a choice." You can say, "I know I am feeling alone." You can say, "I have heard this. I do not need to hear it 100 more times tonight." The mind may still repeat the thought, but your relationship with the thought has changed. You are no longer surprised by it. You are no longer treating it like a new emergency each time it appears. You recognize it. There is the money fear again. There is the fear of rejection again. There is the regret again. There is the need to control again. There is the thought that says, "I must know what happens next." Recognition creates space. The thought becomes something you can observe instead of something that completely becomes you. Night can make thoughts feel more personal because there is less distance from them. During the day, you may say, "I am having a worried thought." At night, it can quickly become, "My life is unsafe." But the two are not the same. Having a worried thought does not mean your whole life is in danger. Having a sad thought does not mean you will always be sad. Having a painful memory does not mean you have lost all healing. Having a fear about tomorrow does not mean tomorrow will follow the fear. Thoughts move. Feelings move. Even the thoughts that have visited many times are not permanent truths. You have had thoughts that once felt certain and later proved untrue. You have feared outcomes that never happened. You have believed situations would never change, and then life changed in ways you did not expect. The mind cannot see the whole future. It builds pictures from past experience. It takes what has happened and uses it to guess what may happen. This can be useful when there is real danger, but it can also keep old pain alive. If you were hurt before, the mind may watch for hurt everywhere. If you were left before, the mind may search for signs that someone will leave. If you struggled before, the mind may believe struggle is the only thing coming. The mind is trying to protect you with old information, but you are not living only inside the past. You are here. You know more now. You have choices now. You can respond differently now. You do not need to shame the part of you that expects pain. That part may have learned to expect pain for a reason. It may have believed that expecting the worst would make the worst hurt less. But suffering in advance does not remove future pain. It only brings pain into a moment that may have been peaceful. You cannot always protect yourself by thinking ahead. Sometimes the most protective thing you can do is care for the body that will meet whatever comes. Tonight, your body needs rest more than another imagined conversation. Your heart needs gentleness more than another review of the past. Your mind needs safety more than another frightening possibility. The quiet of night is not asking you to be afraid of what appears. It is giving you a chance to understand yourself more deeply. When thoughts become louder, ask, what feeling is asking for care? Do not ask, how do I get rid of this as fast as possible? Ask, what is underneath this? Perhaps the thought says, I should have done more. Underneath it may be sadness that you could not control the outcome. Perhaps the thought says, they should have understood me. Underneath it may be the pain of not feeling seen. Perhaps the thought says, what if I fail? Underneath it may be a deep need to know that your worth will remain, even if something does not work. Perhaps the thought says, I cannot handle another difficult day. Underneath it may be a body asking for rest and support. The thought is often only the top layer. The feeling beneath it is what needs love. You can spend hours arguing with a thought and never touch the feeling. You can repeat, I should not think this, while the frightened part continues waiting to be comforted. The mind may not need a better argument. It may need a kinder response. If the feeling is fear, say, I am here with you. If the feeling is sadness, say, you do not have to hide. If the feeling is regret, say, you are allowed to learn without hating yourself. If the feeling is loneliness, say, I will not leave myself tonight. If the feeling is exhaustion, say, you have permission to stop. Simple words can reach places that long explanations cannot reach. You may have spent your life trying to think your way out of every feeling. But feelings do not always need to be solved. They often need to be allowed, understood, and carried with care. Night may be the first time all day that your inner world has your full attention. Let that attention become loving. Do not use the quiet to question your worth. Use it to notice what needs kindness. Do not use the quiet to build a frightening future. Use it to return to the present. Do not use the quiet to punish yourself for the past. Use it to offer forgiveness. Your mind becomes louder at night because it believes there is finally room for it. Teach it that room does not have to become chaos. Room can become listening. Room can become honesty. Room can become a place where nothing has to be forced. You can say, I am willing to hear what hurts, but I will not turn pain into punishment. You can say, I am willing to know what I feel, but I do not need to create a disaster around it. You can say, I can listen to myself and still choose rest. This is how quiet becomes safer. The goal is not to make sure no thought ever rises again. The goal is to know that when thoughts rise, you have a gentle way to meet them. You are learning that not every thought needs an answer. Some thoughts need reassurance. Some need a boundary. Some need time. Some need daylight. Some need to be written down and left for tomorrow. Some need to be allowed to pass without being followed. And some are only the tired mind making noise because it has not yet learned how to become still. You do not need to fear the noise. The noise is not more powerful than you. It is not proof that you are broken. It is not proof that peace is unavailable. It is only a sign that something within you is asking to be met differently. Tonight, when the mind becomes loud, do not become louder than it. Become softer. Let softness be your strength. Let understanding become the beginning of quiet. There are thoughts that repeat because the feeling beneath them has not been given a safe place to rest. The mind keeps returning to the same subject, not because the answer is hidden in one more hour of thinking, but because something inside you is still waiting to be understood. A repeated thought is often a doorway. It may be pointing toward a feeling you have not allowed yourself to name. It may be showing you where you have been carrying too much. It may be revealing a truth that felt too uncomfortable during the day. Ask gently, what feeling have I been trying not to feel? Do not rush to answer. Do not turn the question into another task. Let it open slowly. Perhaps you have been trying not to feel disappointed. You told yourself it did not matter. You acted as though you were fine. You moved on quickly because you did not want to appear weak. But the disappointment did matter. And because it was never given kindness, it may return as overthinking. The mind may keep asking, why did this happen? But the heart may be saying, I am hurt. Perhaps you have been trying not to feel angry. You were taught that anger is wrong, unkind, or dangerous. So you pushed it down. You smiled. You stayed quiet. You told yourself to be understanding. But anger may be showing you that a boundary was crossed. It may be telling you that something did not feel right. It may be asking you to stop giving away more than you can give. The mind may keep replaying the event, but the deeper message may be, I need to protect my peace. Perhaps you have been trying not to feel lonely. You kept busy. You stayed online. You filled every quiet moment with noise. You told yourself you did not need anyone. But when night comes, loneliness may step out from behind the activity. It may not be asking you to chase anyone. It may be asking you to admit that you need connection, warmth, understanding, or care. The mind may keep thinking about one person, but the deeper need may be love. Perhaps you have been trying not to feel afraid. You have been acting strong because other people depend on you. You have been making plans, checking details, and trying to stay ahead of every problem. But fear does not disappear because you hide it. It often becomes control. The mind may keep asking, "How can I make sure nothing goes wrong?" But the deeper feeling may be, "I do not feel safe with uncertainty." Perhaps you have been trying not to feel grief. You believe you should have moved on by now. You think enough time has passed. You may feel embarrassed that a memory can still hurt. But grief does not follow a perfect schedule. It can appear when the world becomes quiet. It can return through a song, a place, a date, or a simple, empty moment. The mind may ask, "Why am I still thinking about this?" But the heart may be saying, "Something important was lost." You do not need to fix every feeling tonight. You only need to stop treating the feeling as a problem. What I am willing to feel no longer has to chase me through the night. When a feeling is not allowed during the day, it often returns through thought. The mind creates stories around what the heart has not expressed. Sadness can become endless questions. Fear can become endless planning. Anger can become endless arguments inside the mind. Regret can become endless reviews of the past. Loneliness can become endless focus on someone who is not present. The mind keeps moving because the feeling has not been held. To hold a feeling does not mean to drown in it. It means to give it enough room to exist without judgment. You may say, "Yes, I am sad." You may say, "Yes, that hurt me." You may say, "Yes, I am afraid of what may happen." You may say, "Yes, I wish I had chosen differently." You may say, "Yes, I am tired of carrying this." There is relief in honest words. The body no longer has to use tension to speak for you. The mind no longer has to repeat the same message in many different forms. Truth can be simple. I am hurt. I am scared. I am angry. I am lonely. I am tired. I do not know what to do. These words are not weakness. They are clarity. They bring you closer to what actually needs care. You may have been asking yourself the wrong question. Instead of asking, "How do I stop thinking about this?" ask, "What does this thought make me feel?" Instead of asking, "Why can't I move on?" ask, "What part of me still needs kindness?" Instead of asking, "Why am I so sensitive?" ask, "What has been too heavy for me to carry alone?" Instead of asking, "How do I make this feeling disappear?" ask, "What would help me feel supported while it passes?" The way you ask matters. A harsh question closes the heart. A kind question creates room. You may discover that the thought is not really about tonight. It may connect to something much older. A small silence from someone may awaken the memory of being ignored. A small mistake may awaken the fear of never being good enough. A change in a relationship may awaken an old fear of being left. A problem at work may awaken the belief that your worth depends on success. The present moment may be touching an old wound. This is why the feeling can seem larger than the event. Do not shame yourself for that. Your reaction has a history. The body remembers what the mind believes it has forgotten. The heart recognizes familiar pain quickly. But familiar pain does not mean the present will become the past again. You are not the same person you were before. You have more awareness now. You can care for yourself in ways you may not have known before. When the old wound rises, you do not need to say, "Here we go again. I will never heal." You can say, "This feels familiar, but I can meet it differently." You can say, "I know this fear. It has visited before, but it does not control my whole life." You can say, "An old part of me is afraid, and I can offer it safety." Healing does not always mean the wound never speaks again. Sometimes healing means the wound speaks, and you no longer abandon yourself when it does. This is important at night. You may believe you need someone else to answer, explain, apologize, return, or understand before you can feel peaceful. Perhaps there is something you wish another person had said. Perhaps you are waiting for a message that would make everything clear. Perhaps you want someone to admit that your pain mattered. Those wishes are human. But tonight, your rest cannot depend completely on what someone else may or may not do. You can give yourself some of the words you needed. You can say, "What happened to me mattered." You can say, "My feelings make sense." You can say, "I deserved honesty." You can say, "I deserved care." You can say, "I am not foolish for having hoped." You can say, "I can move forward without every answer." There are answers you may never receive in the form you expected. Some people may not know how to explain themselves. Some may not understand what they caused. Some situations may remain unclear. If you make your peace wait for perfect understanding, your peace remains tied to the past. Understanding can help, but acceptance can begin even when understanding is incomplete. Acceptance does not mean saying the pain was acceptable. It means accepting that the event happened and choosing not to spend every night trying to rewrite it. You cannot return to the old moment and say the perfect words. You cannot control what another person believed. You cannot change what you did not know then. But you can change how you speak to yourself now. You can stop using new wisdom to attack an older version of yourself. You know more now because you lived through it. That does not mean you should have known then what only experience could teach you. Forgive the part of you that trusted. Forgive the part of you that waited. Forgive the part of you that ignored a feeling because it was not ready to face the truth. Forgive the part of you that made a choice from fear. Forgive the part of you that was only trying to find love, safety, or belonging. You do not become wiser by hating who you used to be. You become wiser by understanding and choosing differently. Regret may visit at night because the mind thinks it can protect you from repeating the past. It says, "Keep reviewing this. Do not forget. Make sure this never happens again." You can learn without punishing yourself. You can remember the lesson without replaying the pain. You can say, "I understand what I would do differently now." Then let that be enough for tonight. There may also be questions about tomorrow that have no answer yet. What if this does not work? What if something changes? What if I am not ready? What if I disappoint someone? What if I choose wrong? The mind wants certainty because certainty feels safe. But life rarely gives complete certainty before a choice. Sometimes you receive only enough understanding for the next step. You do not need to know the whole path. You do not need to solve every possible future before you begin living tomorrow. Ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I stop controlling everything? Perhaps you fear that everything will fall apart. Perhaps you fear that no one else will take care of what needs to be done. Perhaps you fear that relaxing will make you weak. Perhaps you fear that if you stop watching, something painful will surprise you. Control can feel like safety, but control can also become a prison. It keeps the mind working even when no action is possible. It keeps the body prepared for a danger that may never come. You are allowed to prepare wisely without living in constant alert. You are allowed to make plans without imagining every disaster. You are allowed to care deeply without carrying every outcome. There are parts of life that belong to your choices, and there are parts that do not. Your responsibility is to act with honesty, care, and wisdom. Your responsibility is not to control every response, every result, and every future event. Ask yourself, what am I trying to solve before I allow myself to rest? Perhaps you are trying to solve how someone feels. Perhaps you are trying to solve what will happen months from now. Perhaps you are trying to solve whether you are good enough. Perhaps you are trying to solve why the past happened. Perhaps you are trying to solve a problem that requires information you do not yet have. Some questions cannot be answered through more pressure. They need time. They need new experience. They need a conversation that has not happened yet. They need mourning. They need distance. They need the mind to become rested enough to see clearly. You are allowed to leave an unanswered question unanswered for one night. You are allowed to say, I do not know. Those words can feel frightening, but they can also feel freeing. I do not know means you no longer have to invent the worst answer. It means the future is still open. Fear says, if I do not know, something bad will happen. Trust says, I do not know yet, and I can meet the answer when it comes. Perhaps the deepest question is, what burden have I been carrying as though it belongs only to me? You may be carrying the feelings of everyone around you. You may be trying to keep every relationship peaceful. You may be taking responsibility for another person's choices. You may be holding the fear that if you stop trying, everything will break. But you cannot carry every life. You cannot do another person's healing. You cannot make everyone understand. You cannot protect everyone from disappointment. You cannot be responsible for every emotional change around you. You can be loving without carrying what is not yours. You can care without losing yourself. You can support without becoming the only source of support. You can say no without becoming unkind. You can rest without betraying anyone. Sometimes the thoughts that keep you awake are not even your own needs. They are the needs, expectations, and reactions of other people living inside your mind. What will they think? Will they be upset? Will they understand? Will they still accept me? You may have spent so much time thinking about how others feel that you have not asked how you feel. Tonight, ask yourself, what do I need? Not what will keep everyone happy, not what will prevent every conflict, not what will make you look strong. What do you need? Perhaps you need rest. Perhaps you need space. Perhaps you need honesty. Perhaps you need to stop answering a question that has already exhausted you. Perhaps you need to allow disappointment without changing your boundary. Perhaps you need to admit that something is hurting you. Your needs do not become wrong because someone else has a different need. Your feelings do not become unimportant because another person does not understand them. Your body does not stop needing rest because the world continues moving. The night may be showing you that you have been leaving yourself behind during the day. You meet everyone else's needs. You answer everyone else's questions. You listen to everyone else's feelings. Then you lie down and your own inner world finally asks, when is it my turn? Let tonight become your turn. Not a time to judge yourself, a time to return to yourself, not a time to make every decision, a time to hear what has been ignored, not a time to demand silence, a time to offer safety. You can place a hand over your heart and quietly admit what is true. This has been hard. I have been trying to act stronger than I feel. I am afraid. I am tired. I miss what I hoped this would become. I need more care than I have been giving myself. The truth does not come to make you feel worse. It comes to show you where gentleness is needed. When you tell the truth with kindness, the mind no longer has to shout the truth through endless thoughts. The thought may still appear, but it no longer carries the same hidden weight. You know what it is pointing toward. The repeated conversation may be pointing toward hurt. The fear of tomorrow may be pointing toward a need for safety. The regret may be pointing toward forgiveness. The anger may be pointing toward a boundary. The loneliness may be pointing toward the need to reconnect with yourself. The pressure may be pointing toward exhaustion. Once you understand the deeper need, you can respond to the need instead of fighting the thought. You do not need to argue with loneliness. You can offer presence. You do not need to argue with fear. You can offer reassurance. You do not need to argue with regret. You can offer forgiveness. You do not need to argue with tiredness. You can offer rest. This is how the inner world begins to change, not through force, but through a new relationship with what you feel. Tonight is revealing what the day did not have room to hold. Let the truth come gently. Let it show you what needs love. Let it bring you closer to yourself instead of deeper into fear. You do not have to solve the whole feeling. You only have to stop running from it. You do not have to understand every layer. You only have to say, I am willing to listen. You do not have to make the pain disappear. You only have to stop adding rejection to it. What you are willing to feel no longer has to chase you through the night. And as the hidden feeling begins to feel seen, the thought no longer has to knock so loudly. There is the pain of the thought itself, and then there is the pain you add when you turn against yourself for having that thought. There is the fear, and then there is the voice that says, you should not be afraid. There is the sadness, and then there is the shame that says, you should have moved on by now. There is the tiredness, and then there is the pressure that says, you should be stronger. The first feeling may already be heavy, but the second layer often makes it much harder to carry. Perhaps your mind is still moving because something in your life feels uncertain. That uncertainty is the first wound. Then you ask, why can't I stop thinking? What is wrong with me? Why am I like this? Those questions become the second wound. Perhaps you are remembering something painful. The memory itself hurts. Then you criticize yourself for still being affected by it. You tell yourself that you should be over it. You compare your healing to an idea of where you think you should be. That becomes another pain placed on top of the first one. Perhaps you are worried about tomorrow. The worry is already uncomfortable. Then you become angry because you cannot relax. You begin fighting your own body. You demand calm from a nervous system that is asking for kindness. And now you are not only carrying tomorrow. You are also carrying the belief that you are failing tonight. You are not failing. You are having a human response to something that feels difficult. You do not need to punish yourself for needing peace. Let that become a new truth inside you. You do not need to punish yourself because your thoughts returned. You do not need to punish yourself because a feeling became strong. You do not need to punish yourself because your body is tired but still alert. You do not need to become your own enemy just because the night feels hard. The mind becomes more frightened when it feels judged. If every worried thought is met with anger, the mind learns that fear is not safe to feel. It tries to hide the fear, but hidden fear does not disappear. It often returns louder. If every sad feeling is met with shame, the heart learns that sadness is not welcome. It holds the feeling in silence until the quiet of night gives it room to rise again. If every moment of tiredness is met with pressure, the body learns that rest is not safe. It stays alert because it believes it must keep proving its strength. This is why kindness is not a small thing. Kindness changes the message being sent through your whole inner world. It tells the mind, you can speak without being attacked. It tells the body, you can soften without being judged. It tells the heart, you can feel without losing my love. You may have learned to speak harshly to yourself because you believed harshness would help you improve. You may have believed that criticism would make you stronger. more careful, more prepared, or more worthy. Perhaps you thought that if you judged yourself first, no one else could hurt you as deeply. But an inner voice that attacks you does not create safety. It creates a place inside where you are always waiting to be corrected. You may make one small mistake, and the voice says, "You always ruin things." You may feel uncertain, and the voice says, "You never know what you are doing." You may need rest, and the voice says, "You are lazy." You may feel hurt, and the voice says, "You are too sensitive." You may still care about something, and the voice says, "You should be over this." These words do not guide you. They weaken you. They turn a difficult moment into a judgment about your whole identity. A mistake is something that happened. It is not who you are. A fear is something you feel. It is not the whole truth. A tired night is something you are moving through. It is not proof that you will never feel peaceful again. You can learn without insulting yourself. You can notice a pattern without calling yourself broken. You can make a better choice without hating the part of you that made the old one. There is a softer way to speak when the thoughts begin to rise. Instead of saying, "Why am I like this?" you can say, "I understand why this feels heavy." Instead of saying, "I should be over this," you can say, "Healing is still happening in me." Instead of saying, "I cannot control my mind," you can say, "My mind is asking for safety." Instead of saying, "I am weak," you can say, "I have been carrying more than I realized." Instead of saying, "I will never sleep," you can say, "My body can become quieter in its own time." The softer words do not deny what you feel. They stop adding cruelty to it. You do not need to lie to yourself. You do not need to say you feel peaceful when you do not. You only need to stop telling yourself that the lack of peace means something is wrong with you. You can say, "I am not calm yet, but I can still be kind to myself." You can say, "This thought is still here, but I do not have to fear it." You can say, "My body is tense, and I can meet that tension with care." You can say, "I do not have an answer, and I can still give myself rest." This is a more honest form of love. It does not ask you to pretend. It stays close to you as you are. Imagine how different the night becomes when the mind no longer has to defend itself against you. The thought appears, and instead of shouting back, you listen. The fear rises, and instead of saying it should not be there, you say, "I know you are trying to protect me." You may not agree with the fear, you may not follow the fear, but you no longer shame the part of you that feels it. This is important because many thoughts become stronger through resistance. The mind says, "What if something goes wrong?" You answer, "Stop thinking that." The mind hears danger and says it again. You become more angry. The mind becomes more alert. Soon, the original fear has grown into a fight. But if the mind says, "What if something goes wrong?" and you answer, "I know you are worried, but we are not living that moment right now." the fight begins to lose energy. You are not giving fear control, you are giving fear understanding. There is strength in that. It takes strength to hear a worried thought without turning it into a command. It takes strength to feel sadness without using shame to push it away. It takes strength to admit you are tired instead of demanding another performance from yourself. You may have spent the day meeting the needs of others. You may have spoken carefully, worked hard, stayed patient, and handled many things. Then night arrives, and you become impatient with yourself for not calming down quickly. Offer yourself the same patience you gave away all day. You did not become tired because you are weak. You became tired because you have been carrying something. You did not become emotional because you are failing. You became emotional because you are alive and affected by your life. You did not become afraid because you lack wisdom. Fear sometimes appears before wisdom has had time to speak. Let the harsh voice become quieter now. If it says, "You should have known better," answer, "I know more now." If it says, "You wasted too much time," answer, "I am here now, and I can begin from here." If it says, "You allowed too much," answer, "I am learning to protect my peace." If it says, "You made the wrong choice," answer, "I made the best choice I could from where I was." If it says, "You are behind," answer, "My life does not have to follow another person's timing." You do not need to argue with the harsh voice for hours. You can answer once with love and refuse to keep the old conversation alive. The harsh voice may not disappear at all. It has been practiced. It may have borrowed words from the past. It may sound like criticism you heard long ago. It may sound like the way you were taught to push yourself. But a learned voice is not your deepest voice. Your deepest voice does not hate you. Your deepest voice does not want you to suffer all night. Your deepest voice knows that you are more than today's mistake, more than another person's reaction, more than the fear moving through you now. You can begin becoming the voice that says, "I am still here with you." That sentence carries great healing. I am still here with you when the thought returns. I am still here with you when the answer does not come. I am still here with you when you feel unsure. I am still here with you when the past becomes heavy. I am still here with you when you are not proud of how you handled something. I am still here with you when the body cannot relax quickly. This is how you stop abandoning yourself inside difficult moments. Many people believe self-abandonment only happens when they ignore their needs for someone else. But self-abandonment can also happen through inner language. You abandon yourself when pain appears and you become cruel. You abandon yourself when fear appears and you call yourself foolish. You abandon yourself when tiredness appears and you demand more. Tonight, you can remain. You can be the steady presence your own heart has been asking for. You do not have to fix the feeling to remain with it. You do not have to understand every reason. You can simply say, I will not make this harder by attacking myself. There is already enough happening inside you. You do not need another battle. Perhaps you feel embarrassed that you are still thinking about the same subject. You have told yourself many times that you would let it go. You believed you had moved forward, and now the thought has returned. The return of a thought does not erase your progress. Healing is not a straight road. A memory may return because something in the present touched it. A fear may return because the body became tired. An old feeling may rise because you are finally safe enough to feel another layer. Do not turn the return into proof that nothing has changed. Ask yourself how you are meeting it now. Perhaps the thought is the same, but you are not chasing it in the same way. Perhaps the feeling is the same, but you are speaking more gently. Perhaps the memory is the same, but you are no longer blaming yourself. That is change. Change is not always the absence of the old feeling. Sometimes it is the presence of a new response. You may still feel afraid, but now you know fear is not a prediction. You may still feel sad, but now you allow sadness without shame. You may still feel angry, but now you understand that anger may be showing you a boundary. You may still feel tired, but now you do not call tiredness a failure. The new response is healing even before the feeling fully changes. There may be nights when you cannot find ton calme. Perfect words. That is fine. You do not need a perfect sentence. A simple one can be enough. This is hard, and I am staying with myself. I am allowed to feel this. I do not have to solve it tonight. I will not use this moment to judge my whole life. My mind has worked hard enough today. These words create room around the pain. They let you breathe emotionally even when the situation remains unfinished. The mind does not need another command. It needs to know that you are no longer standing against it. Think about how exhausting it is to live inside a mind that is always being corrected. Every feeling becomes another reason to feel wrong. Every thought becomes another problem to remove. Every difficult night becomes another judgment. You deserve a different inner home. An inner home where fear can speak and still be guided. An inner home where sadness can enter without being shamed. An inner home where mistakes become lessons instead of lifelong names. An inner home where rest does not have to be earned through perfect behavior. You are building that home through the way you speak tonight. Each kind sentence is part of the foundation. Each moment of understanding is a door opening. Each time you stop the second wound from forming, your inner world becomes safer. You can care about growing without living under attack. You can desire peace without demanding immediate calm. You can want better thoughts without hating the thoughts you have now. There is room for both truth and tenderness. The truth may be that you have been overthinking. Tenderness says there is a reason. The truth may be that you need to make a change. Tenderness says you do not have to hate yourself before you change. The truth may be that something is not healthy for you. Tenderness says you can step away with care. The truth may be that you made a mistake. Tenderness says you are still worthy of rest. You do not have to choose between honesty and love. The deepest healing carries both. If you only use honesty without love, you may become harsh. If you only use love without honesty, you may avoid what needs to change. But when honesty and love meet, you can say, yes, this pattern is hurting me, and I will not shame myself for learning how to leave it. You can say, yes, I need to handle this differently, and I am still worthy now. You can say, yes, I am afraid, and I can still take care of myself. This is how you become someone you can trust. Self-trust is not built by always being right. It is built by knowing that when you are wrong, you will not destroy yourself. It is built by knowing that when you are afraid, you will not leave. It is built by knowing that when life feels heavy, you will not make yourself carry shame too. Tonight, let self-trust begin in the smallest way. Trust that you will not speak to yourself with cruelty. Trust that you will not turn one hard moment into a story about your whole future. Trust that you will allow the body to rest, even while life remains unfinished. Trust, too, that you can return to the issue when you are clearer. You may not be able to control every thought that enters, but you can choose the voice that answers. Let the answer be gentle. Let it say, I know. Let it say, I understand. Let it say, you have done enough. Let it say, we can continue tomorrow. Let it say, you are not alone inside yourself. The night may still contain thoughts, but it does not have to contain punishment. The feeling may still be present, but the second wound does not have to be created. You are allowed to experience a hard moment without making yourself wrong for it. You are allowed to need comfort. You are allowed to have a tired mind. You are allowed to rest before you feel completely ready. The gentleness you give yourself now is not avoiding healing. It is making healing possible. There is a tiredness that comes from living through a difficult day. It comes from working, caring, deciding, responding, and carrying responsibilities. It is the honest tiredness of being human. Then there is another kind of tiredness. It comes from continuing to fight. The day after the day is already over. It comes from replaying every moment, trying to control tomorrow, and refusing to place anything down. This tiredness reaches deeper because it does not allow the mind or body to know when the work is finished. You may be carrying both kinds tonight. Your body may be tired from what you did. Your mind may be tired from what you keep doing inside. The body says, the day is over. The mind says, not yet. There is more to think about. The body asks for stillness. The mind asks another question. The body begins to soften. The mind brings back a memory. This can feel like being pulled in two directions. One part of you longs to rest. Another part believes it must stay alert. The alert part may believe it is being responsible. It may believe that continuing to worry shows how much you care. It may believe that if you stop thinking, you will miss something important. But worry is not the same as responsibility. Responsibility asks, what useful action can I take? Worry asks the same question even when no action is possible. Responsibility makes a plan and returns to the present. Worry creates another problem before the first one has arrived. Responsibility knows when to stop. Worry believes stopping is dangerous. You may have been taught to prove your care through stress. You may believe that if you love someone, you must worry about them. If you care about your future, you must think about it constantly. If a decision matters, you must stay awake until you feel certain. But constant worry does not make love stronger. It does not make the future safer. It does not create wisdom from an exhausted mind. It only keeps you tired. There is effort in holding everything together, and there is relief in allowing some things to remain unfinished. You may be afraid of unfinished things. An unfinished conversation can feel like danger. An unanswered question can feel like loss of control. A decision without certainty can feel unsafe. So you keep returning to it. You think, maybe if I look at it from another side, I will finally know. You look from another side, but no answer comes. Then you look again. The mind becomes more tired, but it does not become more certain. Some things cannot be finished through thought alone. A relationship question may need time to show you the truth. A work problem may need information that has not arrived. A personal choice may need the body to become calm enough to sense what feels right. An emotional wound may need kindness more than explanation. There are answers that cannot enter a crowded mind. They need space. You may think that rest is delaying the answer, but rest may be part of the answer. When you stop forcing the mind, a hidden truth may rise naturally. When you sleep, the emotional charge may become smaller. In the morning, you may see that one part of the problem was fear, not reality. There is discomfort in surrendering control, and there is exhaustion in trying to control what cannot be controlled. Surrender can feel uncomfortable because it asks you to enter the unknown without a complete plan. It asks you to admit that you cannot manage every outcome. It asks you to trust life beyond the edge of your own thinking. Control feels active. It feels as though you are doing something. Even when it hurts, it can create the feeling that you are protecting yourself. But look at the cost. Control keeps the body tight. Control makes every silence feel important. Control makes every delay feel threatening. Control asks you to study another person's actions, words, and moods as though your safety depends on understanding them completely. Control makes tomorrow enter tonight before it is invited. Surrender does not mean becoming careless. It does not mean refusing to take action. It means knowing where your action ends. You can send the message, but you cannot control the answer. You can tell the truth, but you cannot control how it is received. You can prepare, but you cannot control every result. You can offer love, but you cannot make someone ready to receive it. You can care for your body, but you cannot force every change to happen immediately. You can do your part with love and stop trying to do the part that belongs to time, life, and others. This is where rest begins. Rest begins when you stop reaching beyond your own part. You may still care. You may still hope. You may still want a certain result. But you no longer demand that your mind hold the entire situation together. There is uncertainty in trusting life, and there is pain in carrying tomorrow before it arrives. Tomorrow may contain something difficult. That is possible. Tomorrow may also contain support, clarity, strength, kindness, and choices you cannot see tonight. Fear rarely shows you the full picture. It shows you the hardest part and hides every resource. It shows you the problem, but not the wisdom you may have when the problem arrives. It shows you loss, but not the support that may surround you. It shows you one closed path, but not the other paths that could appear. When you carry tomorrow tonight, you carry a future created mostly by fear. You feel pain for events that have not happened. You prepare your body for danger that may never arrive. You lose the rest that could help you meet whatever comes. You do not need to suffer tomorrow twice. You do not need to experience it in imagination and then again in reality. Let tomorrow meet you as you are tomorrow. Let it bring its own information. Let it show you what is truly needed. Tonight only asks you to be here. There is fear in releasing an answer, and there is greater fear in repeating the same question all night. You may feel that releasing the question means giving up, but you are not giving up. You are changing your timing. You are saying, I cannot reach a wise answer from this state. You are saying, this question deserves a clearer mind. You are saying, I am allowed to stop before I feel certain. There is maturity in that. It is not avoidance to stop when thinking has become harmful. it is care. Think of how many times you have stayed with a thought until it became darker. You began with a real concern, but after enough repetition, the concern became a story about everything that could go wrong. You may have started by wondering whether someone was upset. Soon, you were imagining the end of the relationship. You may have started by thinking about one payment. Soon you were imagining that nothing would ever improve. You may have started by noticing one uncomfortable feeling in the body. Soon you were imagining the worst possible meaning. The longer the tired mind thinks, the less balanced its view may become. Stopping is not failure. Stopping protects you from turning uncertainty into fear. Ask yourself, which pain is helping me heal, and which pain am I creating by refusing to let go? There may be pain in facing a truth, but that truth can guide you. There may be discomfort in setting a boundary, but the boundary can protect your peace. There may be sadness in releasing a hope, but release can make room for something honest. There may be fear in making a change, but the change can lead you back to yourself. These are difficult feelings that may lead somewhere, but there is also the pain of repeating the same thought without action. The pain of checking for an answer that is not there. The pain of trying to control another person's feelings. The pain of imagining rejection before anything has been decided. The pain of keeping the body alert because you are afraid rest will make you unprepared. This pain does not guide you. It only keeps you in the same place. I choose the rest that leads me back to myself. Rest is not only sleep. Rest is the moment you stop carrying what cannot be carried through effort. Rest is deciding that you will not replay the conversation again tonight. Rest is allowing a question to remain open. Rest is accepting that another person's choice belongs to them. Rest is no longer forcing yourself to understand a situation that has already shown you how it feels. Rest is stepping out of the inner courtroom where you have been defending, accusing, explaining, and judging. You may have believed that staying mentally active would protect you from pain. But sometimes the mind stays active because it is afraid of what it will feel when it becomes quiet. When thinking slows, sadness may rise, loneliness may rise, anger may rise. This can make endless thinking feel safer than honest feeling. But thought cannot heal what feeling needs to release. You may think about sadness for hours without letting yourself feel sad. You may think about anger without admitting that a boundary was crossed. You may think about loneliness without offering yourself any true care. You may think about fear without allowing the body to know it is supported. Thinking around the feeling can become another kind of hiding. Rest invites you out of that hiding. It says you do not need to explain the feeling away. It says you can let sadness be sadness. It says you can admit that you are disappointed. It says you can feel fear without becoming fear. It says you can be tired without turning tiredness into a problem. There is deep tiredness in pretending. Pretending you are not hurt. pretending you do not care, pretending you are not angry, pretending you can carry more, pretending the situation is fine because facing the truth feels difficult. Your body may be tired because it has been holding the feelings your words would not hold. Tonight, allow honesty to reduce the burden. You do not need to tell the whole story. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone. You can simply admit what is real inside you. This affected me. This is not what I wanted. I am scared of losing what matters. I am tired of acting as though I can handle everything alone. This situation has asked too much from me. Honesty can be restful. It stops the energy used to hide from yourself. Surrender is not weakness. It takes courage to admit that worry is no longer helping. It takes courage to put down something the mind believes it must hold. It takes courage to let the night continue without your control. You may fear that if you stop worrying, something will go wrong. But ask yourself how many times worry has truly controlled the outcome. Did worrying make another person choose differently? Did worrying change the past? Did worrying create the exact future you wanted? Did worrying give your body more strength? Worry may have made you feel busy, but busy is not the same as powerful. Your power lives in clear action, honest choices, wise boundaries, and the way you care for yourself. Your power does not live in repeating fear. The old way was to stay awake until the mind found certainty. But certainty may never arrive in the form you demand. The new way is to trust that clarity may come after rest. A rested mind can separate fear from fact. A rested body can feel what tension was hiding. A rested heart can hear what is true without the noise of urgency. You are allowed to believe that sleep can help you. You are allowed to believe that stepping away can bring perspective. You are allowed to believe that you do not need to solve everything through effort. There are forms of wisdom that only appear when you stop pressing for them. An answer may come while you are doing something simple tomorrow. A feeling may become clear after the emotional storm settles. A direction may feel obvious when you are no longer trying to force one. Rest creates space for this. You have already done enough for today. Perhaps the mind argues with that. It lists what remains undone. It reminds you of messages, tasks, and responsibilities. It says, "How can you say enough when there is still so much?" Enough does not mean everything is finished. Enough means you have reached the edge of what you can give wisely tonight. There is always more that could be done. There is always another thought you could follow. There is always another possible future you could imagine. But your body has limits, and respecting those limits is part of love. You are not a machine built to continue until every demand disappears. You are a living being who needs times of effort and times of release. The night is the time of release. Let the day be imperfectly complete. Let some words remain unsaid. Let some decisions wait. Let some tasks belong to morning. Let some answers remain hidden until you have the strength to receive them. You do not lose your care when you rest. You protect your ability to care. You do not lose your responsibility. You prepare yourself to meet it clearly. You do not lose control. You return to the part of life you can truly guide, your present response. Tonight, your response can be gentleness. It can be the decision not to check again. It can be the decision not to create another frightening ending. It can be the decision to trust that you will know more when more is available. There may still be thoughts. Let them pass without turning each one into work. There may still be feelings. Let them exist without demanding that they leave. There may still be uncertainty. Let it remain open without filling it with fear. You are not required to complete the future before you rest. You are allowed to choose the form of tiredness that leads toward healing. The honest tiredness of a full day can be met with sleep. The painful tiredness of endless control can be released. You can say, I have carried this far enough for today. You can say, I choose rest over another hour of fear. You can say, I trust that tomorrow will bring what I need for tomorrow. You can say, I do not have to stay mentally awake to prove that I care. Let this be the new way. Not perfect silence, not complete certainty, just the decision to stop making the night carry the day. Overthinking may have begun as a way to protect you. The mind did not create the habit because it wanted to hurt you. It may have learned that staying alert was safer than being surprised. It may have learned that expecting pain felt better than trusting and being disappointed. Perhaps you learned to study every change in another person's voice. You noticed when words became shorter, when warmth became distance, or when silence lasted longer than usual. Your mind began searching for signs so you could prepare yourself before something painful happened. Perhaps you learned to think through every possible future because uncertainty once felt dangerous. If you could imagine every outcome, you believed nothing could surprise you. Perhaps you began replaying conversations because you wanted to find the exact moment where something changed. You believed that understanding every detail would protect you from repeating the pain. Perhaps you checked messages, plans, numbers, or information again and again because checking gave you a brief feeling of control. These patterns may have helped you feel prepared. They may have made you believe you were less likely to be hurt. They may have been the best tools you had at the time. Do not shame the part of you that learned them. That part was trying to keep you safe. But what protected you before does not have to control you tonight. A survival habit can continue long after the danger has passed. The body may still act as though it must remain alert, even when the present moment is quiet. The mind may still search for problems, even when no useful action is needed. The pattern continues because it is familiar. The mind knows how to worry. It knows how to check. It knows how to imagine the worst. It has traveled those paths many times. Rest may feel unfamiliar. Trust may feel unfamiliar. Leaving a question unanswered may feel unfamiliar. This does not mean those choices are unsafe. It means they are new. The nervous system often confuses what is familiar with what is safe. It may choose a painful pattern simply because it knows what to expect there. You know what happens when you replay the conversation. You know the emotions that follow. You know the way your chest feels, the way your thoughts move, and the way the night disappears. You may not know what happens if you stop. The unknown can feel more frightening than familiar pain. But familiar pain is still pain. You are allowed to learn a new way. Maybe the old way was checking repeatedly. You looked at the phone, looked again, and then looked once more. Each time you hoped for relief. Sometimes the answer was there. Often it was not. The checking did not create peace. It trained the mind to believe peace was always one more check away. The moment of relief became shorter. The need to check became stronger. Tonight, you can recognize the pattern without obeying it. The urge may rise. You see and say, I know what you want. You want certainty. But checking again will not create the safety you need. You may still feel uncomfortable. A new pattern often feels uncomfortable before it feels natural. That discomfort does not mean you are making the wrong choice. It may mean you are no longer feeding the old habit. Maybe the old way was rehearsing future conversations. You imagined what you would say, how the other side might respond, and how you would defend yourself. You prepared answers for questions that had not been asked. You may have believed this would make you feel ready. But each new version created another possible problem. The mind built a whole event that did not yet exist. You lived the conversation before it happened. You felt the tension before anyone spoke. You carried the emotional cost of an event that might unfold very differently. Preparation can be useful. Rehearsing fear for hours is not the same as preparation. You can know what matters to you without creating every line. You can trust yourself to respond when the moment comes. You do not have to plan your way around every possible reaction. Maybe the old way was searching for hidden meanings. A simple word became a clue. A delay became a sign. A change in energy became proof that something was wrong. When the mind has known confusion, it may become very sensitive to anything unclear. It wants every word to be certain. It wants every relationship to feel fully secure. It wants every silence explained. But human communication is not always clear. People become tired. They become distracted. They have their own fears, moods, and private struggles. Not every silence is rejection. Not every delay is loss. Not every change is a warning. You can notice what happens without building the most painful meaning around it. If something needs your attention, you can meet it when there is real information. You do not need to create information from fear. Maybe the old way was taking responsibility for another person's feelings. If someone seemed unhappy, you searched for what you had done wrong. If someone became distant, you believed it was your job to fix the distance. If someone did not understand you, you explained yourself until you became exhausted. This pattern may have helped you avoid conflict in the past. It may have helped you feel accepted, but it also taught you to leave yourself whenever someone else became uncomfortable. You are not responsible for managing every feeling around you. You can be caring without becoming afraid of another person's disappointment. You can be honest without making sure everyone approves. You can set a boundary without writing a long defense. You can allow someone to misunderstand you without spending the night proving your heart. Some peace begins when you stop taking jobs that do not belong to you. It is not your job to control another person's reaction. It is not your job to make every situation comfortable. It is not your job to prevent ever possible loss. Your job is to remain honest, kind, and connected to yourself. Maybe the old way was blaming yourself for another person's behavior. You thought that if you could find what you did wrong, you could regain control. Self-blame can create a strange kind of safety. It says, if everything is my fault, then perhaps I can fix everything. But not everything is yours to fix. Another person's lack of care is not proof that you lacked worth. Another person's confusion is not proof that you failed to explain yourself. Another person's inability to love well is not proof that you were difficult to love. You can look honestly at your choices without taking responsibility for choices that were not yours. If there is something you want to do differently, you can learn it. You can apologize. You can grow. But you do not have to carry every part of the story. Maybe the old way was imagining every possible outcome. The mind believed that if it found the worst one first, it would be ready. But preparing for every outcome is impossible. Life has more paths than the worried mind can create. You may spend hours preparing for a door to close and then discover that another door opens. You may fear a conversation and then find that it is gentler than you expected. You may imagine losing something and later realize that its ending created space. You cannot know everything from here. The mind may call this lack of control. Life may call it openness. I lovingly release the habit of staying alert when I am safe to rest. These words do not demand that you relax instantly. They express willingness. You are willing to release the habit. You are willing to notice when it rises. You are willing to choose differently, even while part of you still feels afraid. You do not need to force the old protective part away. You can thank it. You can say, "Thank you for trying to keep me from pain." You can say, "Thank you for watching so closely." You can say, "Thank you for preparing me." Then you can add, "You do not have to work this hard tonight." There is tenderness in thanking a survival pattern before releasing it. You are not making the old self wrong. You are telling that part that a new kind of safety is possible. The old safety came from watching everything. The new safety comes from trusting yourself. The old safety came from controlling every detail. The new safety comes from knowing you can respond. The old safety came from expecting pain. The new safety comes from knowing you will not abandon yourself if pain comes. This is a deeper form of protection. You cannot promise yourself that nothing difficult will ever happen. No one can make that promise. But you can promise that you will remain with yourself. You can promise that you will listen to your body. You can promise that you will take your feelings seriously. You can promise that you will not stay where your peace is repeatedly harmed. You can promise that you will ask for help when you need it. You can promise that you will not use pain as a reason to hate yourself. When you trust these promises, the mind does not have to watch the future with the same fear. The mind often stays alert because it does not trust that you will protect yourself. Perhaps in the past, you ignored your needs. Perhaps you stayed too long in situations that hurt. Perhaps you noticed warning signs, but talked yourself out of what you felt. The protective mind may say, "I must keep watching because you may leave us again." You can rebuild trust through action. When something feels wrong, listen. When you need rest, give yourself rest. When a boundary is needed, honor it. When a pattern becomes harmful, tell yourself the truth. Each action tells the inner protector, "You do not have to shout, I am paying attention now." The old habit may still visit at night. It may ask you to check, replay, plan, and control. Do not be discouraged. A pattern practiced for years may not disappear because you understood it once. The new way grows through repeated choices. Each time you do not check again, the new way grows. Each time you leave the conversation for tomorrow, the new way grows. Each time you feel uncertainty without creating a disaster, the new way grows. Each time you rest while something remains unfinished, the new way grows. You are teaching the body that the night can be safe. You are teaching the mind that it does not have to solve life while exhausted. You are teaching yourself that letting go for now is not the same as losing. This is how survival slowly becomes trust. There may be a belief inside you that relaxation causes bad things. Perhaps moments of calm were interrupted before. Perhaps whenever you stopped watching, something changed. The body learned that being calm made you unprepared. If this is true for you, do not force the body to trust immediately. Speak gently. You can say, "This moment is different." You can say, "I am here now." You can say, "Nothing is being asked of me in this moment." You can say, "I can become a little softer without giving up my power." Safety can begin in small amounts. You do not have to move from full alert into perfect peace. You can allow one part of the body to stop working so hard. You can allow one thought to remain unanswered. You can let one fear pass without following it. Small experiences of safety become evidence. The body begins to learn that not every quiet moment ends in pain. The mind begins to learn that not every unanswered question becomes danger. The heart begins to learn that rest can be trusted. You are not trying to remove the part of you that survived. You are helping it understand that survival is not the only way to live. It may have kept you awake because it loved you in the only way it knew. Now you can love yourself in a new way. You can protect yourself through boundaries instead of constant worry. You can prepare through clear action instead of endless fear. You can listen to your intuition without studying every detail. You can remain aware without living in alarm. You can care deeply without losing the night. The old pattern says, stay awake so nothing can surprise you. The new pattern says, rest so you can meet life with strength. The old pattern says, think until you are certain. The new pattern says, clarity does not have to come through pressure. The old pattern says, control everything or you will not be safe. The new pattern says, I cannot control everything, but I can trust how I will care for myself. You are allowed to outgrow the way you once protected yourself. You are allowed to become softer without becoming unprotected. You are allowed to stop preparing for pain that is not here. You are allowed to believe that the future may contain more kindness than fear can imagine. Tonight, thank the old mind for its work. It has watched enough. It has checked enough. It has prepared enough. It has carried every possible ending long enough. Now let it learn that the night is not another problem to solve. The night can be a place where effort ends. The night can be a place where the old guard places down its tools. The night can be a place where you no longer need to prove that you are ready for everything. You are willing to learn a softer way of ending the day, a way that does not begin with force, a way that does not require complete certainty, a way that lets the body know it is no longer alone, a way that says, I will meet tomorrow when tomorrow comes. You may still feel the old habit asking for your attention. Let it ask. You do not have to obey. You can answer with love. Thank you for trying to protect me. I hear your fear. I know this is unfamiliar. And tonight, we are choosing rest. There comes a point when thinking is no longer helping you. The mind has gone over the same road many times. It has asked the same questions in different ways. It has searched the past, studied the present, and tried to control the future. Yet the answer still has not come. This is the moment when another kind of wisdom is needed. Not more effort, not more checking, not another hour of trying to understand what cannot be understood tonight. This is the moment to let life carry what you cannot carry. Some things are too large for the mind to hold all at once. Some answers need time. Some situations need distance. Some choices become clear only after the body feels safe again. Some feelings need to settle before they can show you what they truly mean. You may believe that if you stop thinking, the problem will become worse. You may believe that if you place it down, even for one night, you will lose your chance to fix it. But the truth is that you are not placing it down forever. You are only refusing to carry it while exhausted. What I cannot solve tonight, I place into the care of life. Let that thought enter slowly. You do not have to know exactly how life will help. You do not have to understand what tomorrow will bring. You only need to accept that your mind is not the only source of support available to you. Life continues while you rest. The world continues moving. Time continues working. Other people continue making choices. New information can arrive. Feelings can become clearer. The body can restore itself. The mind can create new connections after it is no longer being forced. Nothing important stops simply because you sleep. Sometimes the answer you have been chasing appears only after you stop chasing it. You wake with a calmer view. You suddenly see what you could not see while fear was speaking. The situation may still be the same, but your mind is no longer standing so close to it. Distance changes what you can see. Rest creates that distance. You may be trying to understand why someone acted in a certain way. You may have repeated their words, studied their silence, and searched for meaning in every detail. But you cannot always think your way into another person's heart. You cannot know what they have not chosen to tell you. You may never receive every answer you want. Still, you can receive enough truth to protect your peace. You know how the situation made you feel. You know whether you felt respected. You know whether your needs were heard. You know whether the connection gave you peace or kept you in confusion. You know whether you were able to remain yourself. Sometimes the answer is not hidden inside another person's mind. Sometimes the answer is already present in your own experience. You do not need to continue solving someone who has become a source of pain. You do not need to spend the night proving that your feelings are valid. You can place the unanswered parts into the care of life. You may be trying to decide what to do about work, money, family, health, or a major change. The choice may feel too important to leave alone. You believe you should keep thinking until certainty arrives. But certainty is not always available before action. Sometimes you receive only a quiet sense of the next honest step. The full path may stay hidden. The next step can still become clear. Perhaps tonight is not the time to make the final decision. Perhaps tonight is the time to stop pressuring yourself so that wisdom has room to return. A frightened mind asks, "What if I choose wrong?" A calmer mind asks, "What choice respects me?" A frightened mind asks, "What if everything falls apart?" A calmer mind asks, "What can I handle now?" A frightened mind asks, "How can I control the result?" A calmer mind asks, "What part truly belongs to me?" Rest helps you hear the calmer questions. Life does not require you to decide everything from fear. You are allowed to wait until your thoughts are more steady. You are allowed to gather information. You are allowed to give yourself one night before answering. You are allowed to say, "I need time." There is no shame in not knowing yet. Not knowing does not mean you are lost. It means the answer is still forming. There are things happening beneath the surface that you cannot see. Just as a seed changes in the darkness before it rises above the ground, your understanding may be changing before you can name it. You may feel that nothing is happening because you do not have a clear answer. But the mind may be sorting what it has learned. The body may be showing you what feels safe and what does not. Your deeper values may be becoming stronger. Not every change announces itself. Some changes are quiet. You begin to lose interest in what once kept you waiting. You begin to see a pattern more clearly. You begin to feel tired of explaining yourself. You begin to want peace more than approval. You begin to understand that confusion is also information. These quiet changes can guide you more honestly than another hour of worry. Let the night cover what remains unfinished. The day had its time. You did what you could with the strength, knowledge, and energy available to you. Perhaps you did not complete everything. Perhaps you did not answer every message. Perhaps you did not say what you wanted to say. Perhaps you made a choice you are questioning now. The day does not have to be perfect before it can end. You can close the door on it gently. Imagine the day as a room you have been standing in for many hours. The room contains every conversation, task, feeling, and mistake. You have been moving through it, touching every object, trying to put everything in the right place. Now you are allowed to leave the room. You do not have to clean every corner before you step out. You can close the door and return tomorrow if you need to. The room will not disappear. The responsibilities will not run away. But you will no longer be standing among them all night. You can say, "The day is complete enough." Those words may feel new. You may have been trained to believe that nothing is ever enough. You could always do more, think more, prepare more, help more, give more. But there is a point where more stops being loving. More work becomes exhaustion. More thought becomes fear. More giving becomes self-abandonment. More control becomes pain. Enough is not laziness. Enough is a boundary. You have reached enough for today. Now let the night become a place of release. You can place the heavy bag beside you. You do not have to keep holding it while you sleep. That bag may contain tomorrow's responsibilities. It may contain words someone said. It may contain fear about money. It may contain a choice you have not made. It may contain grief that became stronger today. You are not throwing the bag away. You are placing it down. Your arms deserve relief. Your mind deserves relief. Your heart deserves relief. You can return to what matters when you have more strength. What belongs to you will not disappear because you rested. The right opportunity will not vanish simply because you stopped worrying about it for a few hours. The truth will not become less true. The next step will not punish you for sleeping. If something requires your action tomorrow, you can act tomorrow. If something is meant to become clear, clarity can still find you. If someone truly needs to speak with you, the conversation can happen in its time. Your fear is not holding the universe together. You are not the only force keeping life in place. The sun does not need your worry to rise. The body does not need your fear to keep breathing. Life has carried you through moments you did not understand. It has moved you through endings you thought would break you. It has helped you begin again after nights when you could not imagine a new morning. Life has more strength than your thoughts can measure. You can lean into that strength. This does not require a perfect belief. You do not need to feel complete trust. A little willingness is enough. You can say, I am willing to believe that I do not have to manage everything tonight. You can say, I am willing to let life work beyond what I can see. You can say, I am willing to stop caring tomorrow before it arrives. Willingness creates an opening. Through that opening, the body begins to soften. The mind begins to understand that it is not being abandoned. It is being supported. You may have thought surrender means losing power, but surrender can return your power to the present. When you try to control the future, your energy is scattered across many events that are not happening now. When you surrender what you cannot control, your energy comes back. It returns to your body. It returns to your breath. It returns to the quiet room. It returns to the simple truth that you are here. Surrender is not saying nothing matters. It is saying, this matters, but I cannot control every part of it. Surrender is not saying, I will do nothing. It is saying, I will do what is mine to do, and I will release what is not mine. Surrender is not weakness. It is the strength to stop fighting with life where fighting cannot help. There may be a problem you have been carrying alone. Perhaps you believe no one can understand. Perhaps you do not want to worry anyone. Perhaps you are used to being the strong one, but even strong hearts need somewhere to place their weight. You may place it into prayer. You may place it into the care of life. You may place it into the quiet trust that the next step will appear when it is needed. You do not need hard or formal words. You can simply say, please carry this with me. You can say, show me what I need to know when I am ready to know it. You can say, help me stop holding what I cannot change tonight. These simple words can create great relief because they admit that you were never meant to carry everything alone. You may not receive an immediate answer. The situation may not change before morning, but something inside you can change. The grip can loosen. The fear can become less sharp. The feeling of being alone can begin to lift. Sometimes support begins as the willingness to believe support is possible. You have done what you can for today. Perhaps you made the call. Perhaps you had the conversation. Perhaps you searched for the answer. Perhaps you tried to be understanding. Perhaps you faced a feeling you had avoided. Perhaps all you could do was get through the day. That was still something. Do not dismiss the effort it took to arrive here. The fact that you are tired, does not mean you did nothing. It may mean you have given more than you noticed. Now the loving step is release. You can say, I have done what I can for today. I allow the rest to unfold in its own time. You are not commanding life to give you a certain result. You are opening yourself to a result that may be wiser than the one fear is trying to force. You may want one specific door to open. Perhaps it will. Perhaps life will guide you toward another door that feels more peaceful. You may want one person to understand. Perhaps they will. Perhaps you will realize that your own understanding is enough to help you move forward. You may want one clear sign. Perhaps it will come. Perhaps the quiet loss of interest in the old pattern will become the sign. Life does not always answer in the form you expect. That is why surrender is necessary. It allows help to arrive through paths you did not plan. Tonight, you do not need to search those paths. You only need to leave room for them. Let the night be more than an empty space between days. Let it become a place where your inner world repairs itself. The body does quiet work while you rest. The heart processes what words could not finish. The mind sorts memories, ideas, and feelings. You may wake with no dramatic answer, yet still feel less trapped. That matters. Relief is an answer too. A calmer body is an answer. A clearer boundary is an answer. The desire to stop chasing is an answer. The ability to say, I cannot carry this anymore, is an answer. You do not need a great sign to know that something is changing. Sometimes, change begins when you no longer want to continue the old way. The night can support this change. It can cover you while the old grip weakens. It can remind you that darkness is not the end of movement. Many important things happen where the eyes cannot see. Let your healing have a hidden part. Let your clarity have time. Let your future form without being watched every second. You have stared at the problem long enough. Turn your attention toward the possibility of being supported. You do not need to know what support will look like. You only need to stop saying that everything depends on your fear. It does not. Your life is larger than this thought. Your future is larger than this night. Your wisdom is larger than this tired moment. What you cannot carry, let life carry. What you cannot answer, let time hold. What you cannot change, let love soften. What you cannot understand, let it remain open. You are not required to force an ending. You are allowed to rest in the middle of the story. The mind may understand that it is time to rest, but the body may still be waiting for danger. You may tell yourself that everything is fine in this moment, yet your shoulders remain tight, your jaw stays closed, your hands continue holding tension, your breath feels small. The body may still be carrying the day even after the day has ended. This is not because the body is refusing to listen. The body has its own memory. It remembers the moments when you had to stay ready. It remembers pressure, sudden change, conflict, disappointment, and fear. It may have learned that relaxing makes you unprepared. So tonight, do not demand that the body become calm. Teach it gently. The body learns safety through experience, not through force. It learns through the feeling of being supported. It learns through a softer voice. It learns when you stop pushing it to perform. It learns when you notice tension without becoming afraid of it. Begin by recognizing where you are. You are not inside tomorrow. You are not inside the old conversation. You are not standing before the future event. You are here. The surface beneath you is holding your weight. You do not have to hold your whole body up through thought. Let the bed, chair, or floor do its work. You may notice that you are still lifting your shoulders as though they must carry something. Let them understand that they can release a little. They do not need to carry another person's feelings. They do not need to carry every responsibility at once. They do not need to hold the future close. Your jaw may be holding words you did not say. It may be holding frustration, control, or the effort to appear calm. Allow it to become less firm. You do not need to explain yourself right now. You do not need to defend your choices. You do not need to prepare the perfect answer. The night does not require a speech. Your hands may still be gripping. Perhaps they are used to working, helping, holding, checking, and fixing. Let them rest. They do not have to solve anything in this moment. There is nothing they need to reach for. There is nothing they need to keep from leaving. Let the hands be empty. An empty hand is not a powerless hand. It is a hand that has stopped holding what became too heavy. Notice the place where the body feels most alert. It may be the chest. It may be the stomach. It may be the throat. It may be the forehead. Do not ask the feeling to disappear. Simply bring kindness there. You can say, I know you have been working hard. You can say, you do not have to become completely calm. You can say, a little softness is enough. The body responds to permission. It may not release all at once. It may loosen slowly, almost too quietly to notice. That is fine. You are not trying to create a perfect feeling. You are creating a new message. My body is allowed to feel safe before my life feels perfect. This is important because many people wait for the whole life to become calm before allowing the body to rest. They say, I will relax when the money is secure. I will relax when the relationship is clear. I will relax when the work is finished. I will relax when I know what happens next. But one problem may be solved and another may appear. Life continues changing. If safety depends on perfect conditions, the body may never receive permission to soften. Safety can begin before everything is fixed. It begins by noticing what is true in this moment. You are here. You are breathing. You are supported by the surface beneath you. No action is being asked from you right now. You are allowed to be still. There may still be difficult things in your life. A present signal of safety does not deny them. It only reminds the body that they are not all happening at once. The body often responds to imagined events as if they are happening now. You picture tomorrow's conversation and the chest tightens now. You imagine a future loss and the stomach reacts now. You replay an old hurt and the body feels the old danger now. The body needs help returning to this moment. You can tell it, that is not happening in this room. You can say, we are remembering, not reliving. You can say, we are imagining, not facing. These words create separation between the thought and the present. The mind may continue making pictures. You do not need to enter each one. Return to what the body can feel now. The weight of your head being held, the stillness around your hands, the air touching your skin, the natural movement of the breath. Do not force the breath to become deep or perfect. Let it move as it wants. The breath has been caring for you without instruction. You can trust it to continue. Every natural breath is a quiet message that life is still moving within you. The body does not need you to control every breath. It needs you to stop frightening it with every thought. When fear rises, speak to the body with care. You may say, I am here with myself. This means you are not leaving when the body becomes uncomfortable. You are not becoming angry with your heartbeat. You are not judging the tightness. You are staying. You may say, I will not abandon myself tonight. This is a promise of presence. Even if thoughts come, you will remain kind. Even if sleep takes time, you will not turn the night into punishment. Even if sadness rises, you will not reject it. You may say, my body does not have to prepare for tomorrow yet. Tomorrow will give you time to stand, move, speak, choose, and act. The body does not need to begin those actions now. Tonight is not a rehearsal for tomorrow. It is a time of restoration. You may say, rest is safe for me. If those words feel difficult, make them softer. I am learning that rest can be safe. I am willing to let my body soften. I can release a little tension. The body does not need a statement that feels impossible. It needs words it can begin to trust. You may say, I can soften without losing control. Many people hold tension because tension feels like control. The tight shoulders feel ready. The clenched jaw feels prepared. The busy mind feels watchful. But true control is not found in endless tension. Your power remains even when the muscles soften. Your wisdom remains. Your boundaries remain. Your ability to respond remains. You do not lose yourself when you relax. You return to yourself. The body may be tired from carrying emotions that were never expressed. When you held back tears, the body held them. When you stayed silent, the throat held the words. When you ignored anger, the muscles held the force. When you smiled through pain, the face held the effort. Tonight, you do not have to force those feelings out. Simply stop demanding that the body hide them perfectly. You can admit, today affected me. The body may soften when it hears the truth. You can admit, I am more tired than I wanted to be. The body no longer needs to prove strength. You can admit, I need care. The body no longer has to create stronger signals to gain your attention. Listening itself is calming. The body often becomes louder when it feels ignored. Tension grows. Rest becomes harder. The body tries to say, please notice me. When you finally notice without fear, the message does not need to be as loud. You are not trying to control the body. You are building a relationship with it. A relationship needs trust. Trust grows when you listen. Trust grows when you keep your promises. If you say you will rest, let yourself rest. If you know something is draining you, begin respecting that truth. If you need support, allow yourself to seek it. Each caring action tells the body, you do not have to create a crisis to be heard. The body becomes safer when it knows you are paying attention. Perhaps your body has been living in tomorrow for a long time. It wakes already prepared for pressure. It moves quickly. It rarely feels permission to stop. Tonight, let stopping become a form of care. You are not falling behind while resting. The world may continue, but your place in it is not lost. Your worth is not reduced because you are still. You do not need to be useful in every moment. You do not need to produce something to deserve the bed beneath you. You do not need to finish another task before giving your body kindness. The body has carried you through the whole day. It carried you through every worry. It held every emotion. It continued breathing while the mind was busy. It deserves a voice that says, thank you, not criticism, not another demand. Thank you for carrying me. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for telling me when something became too much. Thank you for trying to protect me. Gratitude can soften the relationship between you and your body. You may not love every part of your body tonight. You may have fear, pain, or frustration, but you can begin with respect. You can stop speaking to the body as though it has betrayed you. You can speak as though you are partners. Dear body, I am listening. I want to support you. I will not use fear as the only way to speak to you. These words do not replace practical care. They make practical care more loving. If the body needs help, you can seek help. If it needs rest, you can give rest. If it needs movement, nourishment, or support, you can respond with wisdom. Love does not mean ignoring the body. Love means listening without attack. Tonight, listening may simply mean allowing it to be tired. You have no duty to make the body feel perfect. Let tiredness be tiredness. Let heaviness be heaviness. Let the body have the experience it is having without turning every feeling into a frightening story. A tight place can be a tight place. A fast heartbeat can be noticed without becoming a prediction. A restless feeling can move without defining the whole night. You can say, "This is uncomfortable, and I am still safe in this moment." You can hold both truths. You do not have to pretend the discomfort is pleasant. You do not have to believe it will remain forever. Feelings change. The body shifts. The night moves forward. Your task is not to force the change. Your task is to remain gentle while change happens. Each time you return to the present, you teach the body something new. You teach it that a thought can rise without becoming danger. You teach it that a memory can appear without taking over. You teach it that uncertainty can exist beside support. You teach it that rest is possible before every answer comes. This learning may take time. Do not measure yourself after one night. The body has practiced alertness for many days, perhaps many years. It deserves patience while it learns another way. The fact that you are speaking kindly to it already matters. The fact that you are no longer demanding instant calm already matters. The fact that you are willing to stay instead of fight already matters. Safety is built through these small moments: a softer shoulder, an unclenched hand, a kinder thought, a feeling that is allowed to pass, a night that is not treated like a test. You are not being tested tonight. There is no perfect way to rest. There is no prize for becoming calm quickly. You are not failing if the mind returns. You are not failing if the body remains awake. You can still create a peaceful relationship with the night, even when sleep does not come at once. The peace is in the way you treat yourself while you wait. The peace is in no longer turning against the body. The peace is in saying, "I am allowed to be here exactly as I am." When the body receives that message, the mind no longer has to shout as loudly. The mind had been trying to protect a body that felt unsafe. As the body learns safety, the mind can slowly release its guard. Let this learning happen gently. You do not have to watch it. You do not have to ask whether it is working. You only need to continue offering the message: I am here. I am supported. I am not required to face tomorrow tonight. My body can rest before my life is perfect. Peace does not mean you will never have another difficult thought. It does not mean the mind will remain empty. It does not mean every night will become completely silent. Peace means thoughts can come without controlling your whole inner world. A thought can appear, and you do not have to become it. A question can rise, and you do not have to answer it. A memory can return, and you do not have to enter the past. A fear can speak, and you do not have to treat it as a warning from the future. This is a new relationship with your thoughts. Before, a thought may have felt like an emergency. Now it can become something you notice. Before, every thought may have asked for action. Now you can decide whether action is truly needed. Before, one thought may have become 10. Now you can let the first thought pass without building the others. You cannot always choose which thought enters the mind, but you can choose what happens after it enters. You can welcome it as truth. You can fight it as an enemy, or you can notice it as a passing event. Thoughts are like clouds moving across a wide sky. Some are light, some are dark, some remain longer than you want. Yet no cloud becomes the whole sky. The sky continues behind it. In the same way, the deepest part of you remains larger than the thoughts passing through. A worried thought may cover your view for a moment, but it is not your whole being. A sad thought may change the feeling of the night, but it is not the end of your peace. A painful memory may appear clearly, but it does not remove the present. You are the space in which the thought is being noticed. You are not only the thought. You may imagine thoughts as visitors arriving at a door. Some visitors bring useful information. Some bring old fears. Some repeat the same story. You can listen without allowing every visitor to move into your home. You can say, "I hear you." That is enough. You do not need to prepare a room for every fear. You do not need to feed every memory. You do not need to allow every question to stay until morning. A thought can visit and leave. You can say, "I understand that you are afraid." This recognizes the purpose behind the thought. Fear often wants to protect you. It may use harsh pictures and urgent words, but beneath them is a part of you asking not to be hurt. You can respect that desire without following the fear. You can answer, "Thank you for trying to prepare me. I do not need to enter this story tonight." The thought may return. Answer it in the same calm way. You do not need a new answer each time. Repetition from the mind does not require repeated discussion. You can say, "I do not need to follow you tonight." This is not rejection. It is direction. You are guiding your attention away from a road that has already exhausted you. Attention is valuable. You do not have to give it to every thought simply because the thought asks loudly. A loud thought is not always an important thought. Sometimes it is only a practice thought. It has become loud because it has been followed many times. Each time you choose not to follow, the old road becomes weaker. A thought may say, "This question cannot wait." You can answer, "This question can wait." A thought may say, "You must understand what happened." You can answer, "This memory does not need another ending right now." A thought may say, "The worst is coming." You can answer, "This fear is not the whole truth." A thought may say, "You will never feel peaceful." You can answer, "This is one moment. It is not forever." You are learning to respond rather than react. Reaction happens quickly. The thought appears, the body tightens, and the mind begins building a story. Response creates space. You notice. You name what is happening. You choose whether to continue. This small space can change the whole night. You may say, I am having a worried thought. Notice the difference between that and saying, something terrible is going to happen. The first statement describes what is happening in the mind. The second treats the thought as fact. You may say, I am remembering something painful. This is different from saying, I am back in that painful moment. You may say, my mind is searching for certainty. This is different from saying, I must find certainty now. The language you use creates distance. Distance gives you choice. Choice gives you peace. You do not need to deny the thought. Denial often gives it more energy. You can name it gently. This is fear. This is regret. This is the need to control. This is an old story. This is a tired mind trying to protect me. Naming the thought helps you see it clearly. It becomes something happening within you, not something defining you. There may be thoughts that have visited for years. They may come from old beliefs. I am not enough. I will be left. I must do everything alone. I am only safe when I am in control. These thoughts may feel like your own voice because they have been present for so long. But a familiar thought is not always a true thought. It may be a lesson learned from pain. It may be a message repeated by someone else. It may be a conclusion made when you were too young, afraid, or hurt to see the full truth. You are allowed to question it now. When the thought says, I am not enough, you can ask, is this truth, or is this an old wound speaking? When it says, I will be left, you can ask, am I leaving myself right now? When it says, I must do everything alone, you can ask, where can I allow support? When it says, I am only safe when I control everything, you can ask, can I trust myself even when I cannot control the result? You are not arguing with the thought. You are opening another possibility. A thought loses power when it is no longer the only voice. Let the loving voice become stronger, not louder through force, stronger through steady return. The loving voice says, you are allowed to rest. The loving voice says, you can handle tomorrow when it comes. The loving voice says, your worth is not being decided tonight. The loving voice says, you do not need to chase what keeps you confused. The loving voice says, you are learning. This voice may feel quiet at first because fear has had more practice. Continue returning to it. A new inner voice grows through use. Just as the worried road became familiar through repetition, the peaceful road can become familiar too. Each time you answer fear with understanding, the peaceful road grows. Each time you let a thought pass, the peaceful road grows. Each time you stop checking, replaying, or imagining, the peaceful road grows. You are not waiting for peace to happen to you. You are creating a new response that allows peace to remain. Some thoughts will still pull strongly. A thought about someone you love may feel impossible to release. A thought about money may return with urgency. A thought about the body may create fear. do not judge the strength of the pull. The thought is connected to something meaningful. You can care deeply and still create a boundary. You can say, "This matters to me, but I will not harm myself by thinking about it all night." That sentence carries love for both the situation and yourself. You do not have to choose between caring and resting. Rest can be part of care. A rested mind may find a wiser action. A rested body may have more strength. A rested heart may know what it is willing to accept. The mind may tell you that stopping is irresponsible. Remind it that repeating is not solving. You can return tomorrow with clearer eyes. You may fear that if you let the thought go, you will forget the lesson. You will not lose wisdom by releasing pain. The lesson can stay without the punishment. The boundary can stay without the anger. The memory can stay without controlling the present. You do not need to keep a wound open to prove that it mattered. You can honor what happened and still let the mind become quiet. You may have used overthinking to feel close to something you lost. Replaying the memory may feel like keeping the connection alive, but you can keep love without keeping pain active. You can remember without reopening every detail. You can be grateful for what was good without returning to what harmed you. You can release a person from your thoughts without saying they never mattered. Peace does not erase the past. It changes your relationship with it. You are no longer living inside it. You are looking at it from the present, where you have more strength and choice. There may also be thoughts about yourself that feel harsh. The mind may review mistakes from the day. I notice what you did not finish. It may compare you to others. You can recognize that the tired mind is not a fair judge. It sees what went wrong and forgets what you carried. It counts unfinished tasks and ignores the effort you gave. It notices weakness and forgets courage. Do not let a tired thought write the final meaning of your day. You can say, "I will not judge my whole life from this tired moment." You can say, "I did not have to be perfect today." You can say, "There were things I handled that no one else saw." You can say, "I am allowed to be unfinished." A human life is always unfinished. There is always more to learn, heal, and understand. If peace required completion, no one would ever rest. You are allowed to rest while becoming. You are allowed to sleep while healing. You are allowed to receive gentleness before you have changed every old pattern. Peace is not waiting at the end of perfection. It is available in the way you meet yourself now. You can notice a thought without becoming the thought. Let this become a steady truth. You can notice fear without becoming a frightened future. You can notice sadness without becoming hopelessness. You can notice anger without becoming the old argument. You can notice regret without becoming punishment. You can notice loneliness without becoming abandonment. The thought is present. You are present too, and you are larger. Think of a wave rising in the sea. It gathers strength, reaches a high point, and then returns. A feeling can move this way. A thought can move this way. If you do not keep feeding it with another story, it may pass more naturally. But when a thought rises, the mind often adds another thought, then another. The wave becomes larger because it is being built. Tonight, let one wave be one wave. A worried thought appears. You notice it. You offer a kind answer. You return. You do not need to ask what the thought means about your entire life. This is the practice of return. You return to the body. You return to the surface holding you. You return to the simple fact that the day has ended. You return to the loving voice. You may return many times. That does not mean you are failing. The return is the practice. Peace grows through repeated returns, not through one perfect night. There may be moments when you follow the thought for several minutes before realizing what happened. Do not become angry. The moment you notice is the moment you can return. You have not lost the night. You have not destroyed your progress. You simply wandered onto the old road. Now you can step back. Each return teaches awareness. Each return makes the next return easier. One day you may notice the thought before it becomes a long story. Later you may notice it as soon as it begins. Eventually some thoughts may pass without pulling you at all. This happens gently. Do not watch for it with pressure. Let the new relationship grow in its own time. You are becoming someone who no longer treats every thought as an emergency. You do not need to chase every thought. You do not need to answer every thought. You do not need to judge every thought. You do not need to remove every thought. You can let thoughts be part of the inner sky without allowing them to decide the weather of your whole life. This is freedom, not an empty mind. A mind you are no longer afraid of. A mind that can speak without controlling you. A mind that knows it will be heard but not always obeyed. A mind that can rest because you have become a steady guide. Tonight, continue guiding gently. When the thought returns, say, I hear you. When fear appears, say, I understand. When urgency rises, say, this can wait. When the mind begins building the future, say, come back. You do not need more words than that. The power is not in saying the perfect thing. The power is in refusing to follow the old road every time it appears. You are not fighting the mind. You are leading it home. You have carried enough for one day. You have carried thoughts that would not become quiet. You have carried questions without answers. You have carried memories that returned when the room became still. You have carried the weight of trying to remain strong while something inside you needed rest. Tonight, you do not have to carry it in the same way. You are allowed to be held by the surface beneath you, held by the darkness that asks nothing from you. held by the quiet around you, held by the simple truth that you do not have to complete your life before you rest. You can release the need to solve everything tonight. There may still be unanswered questions. Let them remain open. An open question is not a danger. It is only a place where life has not finished speaking. You do not have to fill that place with fear. You can leave it open for another answer. You can leave it open for new information. You can leave it open for a wiser version of you to meet tomorrow. I release the need to solve everything tonight. Let the words become permission. You are not giving up. You are giving the mind time to restore itself. You forgive yourself for caring too much. You may have believed it was your duty. You may have believed that being loving meant never placing anything down. You may have believed that strength meant handling everything alone. But you did not fail because the weight became heavy. The weight was heavy. You are human. You were never meant to carry every problem, every person, every result, and every fear without rest. I forgive myself for carrying too much. Forgiveness means you stop using your tiredness as proof that you are weak. It means you stop judging the choices you made while trying to survive. It means you no longer demand that the past be different before you allow peace. You can look at the older version of yourself with kindness. That version did not know everything you know now. That version may have held on because letting go felt dangerous. That version may have worried because trust felt unfamiliar. You do not need to punish the old self. You can thank that self for bringing you here. You can say, I understand why you were afraid. You can say, you do not have to work so hard anymore. You are safe to leave some questions unanswered. The mind may resist this. It may say that unanswered questions grow in the dark, but many answers grow in the dark too. Insight grows, strength grows, clarity grows, the ability to release grows. You may wake without a complete answer, yet with a clearer sense of what no longer feels right. You may wake knowing that you need more time. You may wake with the courage to say no. You may wake with the desire to choose yourself. These are answers. You do not need to force them tonight. I am safe to leave some questions unanswered. The future will not punish you for resting. What you need to know can meet you when you are ready to receive it. You trust that clarity can meet you after rest. Clarity does not always come as a loud message. It may come as less confusion. It may come as a peaceful feeling around one choice. It may come as the loss of energy for something that once kept you waiting. It may come as the simple knowledge that you deserve better. You do not need to chase clarity. Create room for it. Rest creates room. Silence creates room. Releasing the old argument creates room. I trust that clarity can meet me after rest. You let the day end. This day contained enough. It contained effort, feeling, thought, and experience. You do not need to add another hour to prove that it mattered. The day is allowed to become the past. You do not have to take every part of it with you. Leave the unfinished task for tomorrow. Leave the message unanswered if you do not have the right words. Leave the choice open if your body is asking for time. Leave another person's reaction with them. Let the day end. I let the day end. The words may feel simple, but they carry a boundary. The boundary says the day no longer has full access to your mind. The boundary says the night has begun. The boundary says your body is no longer available for endless effort. You allow the mind to become quieter in its own time. Do not watch it. Do not ask, "Is it quiet yet?" That question becomes another form of pressure. The mind may take time to slow. Let it. A river does not become still because you command it. It becomes still when the movement naturally settles. Your thoughts may move for a while. You do not have to move with each one. You can remain where you are. The mind can move. You can rest. I allow my mind to become quieter in its own time. There is no deadline. There is no failure. There is only the gentle loss of effort. You place tomorrow back into tomorrow. Tomorrow has been entering your night through imagined conversations, possible problems, and future duties. Now send it back kindly. Tomorrow does not belong here yet. It will arrive with its own light. It will bring more information than you have now. It will bring another level of strength. It will give you time to respond. You do not need to live tomorrow in advance. I place tomorrow back into tomorrow. Tonight belongs to rest. This moment belongs to the body. This quiet belongs to you. You are supported by life even when you cannot see the whole path. You may feel alone because the answer is hidden. But hidden does not mean absent. There may be possibilities you cannot see from where you are. There may be support you have not yet received. There may be strength that will rise only when it is needed. Your sight is limited to this moment. Life is larger than this moment. You do not have to see the whole path to trust the next step. You do not have to understand the ending to stop forcing this chapter. I am supported by life even when I cannot see the whole path. Let this support be simple. The bed is support. The breath is support. The choice to stop attacking yourself is support. The wisdom to delay an answer is support. The truth rising within you is support. Do not ignore the small forms of support while waiting for a great sign. Your body deserves rest. It has carried every thought. It has responded to every fear. It has moved you through this day. It continued working even when you were too busy to notice. Your heart kept beating through joy, pressure, sadness, and uncertainty. Your lungs kept breathing through every thought. Your body did not leave you. Now do not leave it. Give it the rest it has been requesting. My body deserves rest. not because it completed everything, not because it behaved perfectly, not because it looks a certain way. It deserves rest because it is alive. It deserves care because it is your home. Your heart deserves gentleness. It has hoped. It has trusted. It has been disappointed. It has tried again. It may be carrying love that has nowhere to go tonight. Let that love return to you. You do not have to pour it towards someone who is not present. You can place it over your own heart. You can say, "You have carried enough." You can say, "Your feelings are not too much." You can say, "You do not have to earn tenderness. My heart deserves gentleness." You are no longer fighting yourself. Perhaps the fight does not end completely in one night, but you are changing your position. You are stepping away from the old habit of attacking every feeling. You are refusing to make the mind your enemy. You are becoming a safe place for yourself. I am no longer fighting myself. Feel the relief inside that statement. You do not need to win. You do not need to defeat a part of yourself. You are gathering your inner world back together. The mind, body, and heart do not have to pull in different directions. They can receive the same message. We are safe enough to stop for tonight. Tonight, peace is allowed to find you. You do not have to chase it. You do not have to create it perfectly. You do not have to hold a certain thought. Peace may begin as one moment when you forget to worry. It may begin as the body becoming a little heavier. It may begin as the question losing its sharp edge. It may begin as the realization that you no longer want to solve anything. Let peace arrive in its own form. Tonight, peace is allowed to find me. Perhaps it has already begun. Perhaps peace is the fact that you are no longer demanding silence. Perhaps it is the way you have stayed with yourself. Perhaps it is the willingness to believe that rest is possible. You are not weak because your mind became tired. A mind becomes tired when it has been working too long. You may have asked it to carry responsibilities, memories, fears, and other people's feelings. It did what it could. Now it needs relief. You are not failing because some thoughts returned. Thoughts return when they are familiar. They return when something touches an old fear. They return when the body is tired. The return of a thought is not the return of the whole past. It is only a thought appearing again. You can meet it differently now. You are not behind because clarity has not arrived yet. Your life has its own timing. Some truths take time because you are learning how to receive them without turning against yourself. Some endings take time because the heart is letting go in layers. Some changes take time because the body needs safety before it can release the familiar. You are not late. You are in the process of understanding. You do not need to complete your healing before receiving rest. Rest is part of healing. You do not heal first. and then deserve gentleness. Gentleness helps you heal. You do not have to become fearless before sleeping. Sleep helps the frightened body restore itself. You do not need to become a new person tonight. You only need to stop forcing the old person to carry more. Allow this night to soften what you could not silence through effort. You tried, you thought, you searched, you replayed. Now effort can end. The night can reach places that effort could not reach. It can cover the sharp edges. It can create space around the fear. It can help the body remember how to release. You do not have to make this happen. Let the night be night. Let darkness be soft rather than frightening. Let quiet be open rather than empty. Let stillness become support. The thoughts may continue for a while. You do not have to turn them off. You can let them lose energy because you are no longer feeding them. A thought appears. You hear it. You remain still. Another appears. You do not argue. You return to the loving truth. I have done enough. The question can wait. Tomorrow belongs to tomorrow. I am here with myself. The mind learns through this return. It learns that a thought can appear without beginning another hour of struggle. It learns that you are no longer available for every old story. It learns that peace does not require perfect control. The beginning of the night, you may have believed you needed to force the mind into peace. Now you can see that force was never the doorway. The doorway was understanding. The doorway was kindness. The doorway was the moment you stopped treating yourself like a problem. You do not have to force anything now. You do not have to force sleep. You do not have to force trust. You do not have to force forgiveness. You can allow these things to grow gently. The day is finished. Whatever did not happen can wait. Whatever was not answered can remain open. Whatever you wish you had done can become wisdom for another day. The heart can loosen around what it cannot change. Life can continue arranging what the mind no longer needs to carry tonight. You are not holding the future together. You are not responsible for keeping every door open. You are not required to understand another person's silence. You are not required to decide your worth. You are not required to remain alert. The night has no demand for you. It does not ask you to perform. It does not ask you to prove that you are healing. It does not ask you to become positive. It only offers space. Let yourself receive that space. There is nothing more you need to become before you are allowed to rest. You are worthy in this unfinished state. You are worthy with unanswered questions. You are worthy while learning how to let go. You are worthy even if today was difficult. The mind may have been loud, but it does not decide your worth. The past may have returned, but it does not own this moment. The future may be uncertain, but uncertainty is not the same as danger. You are here. This moment is here. And this moment is enough. Let the shoulders know the work is over. Let the hands know there is nothing to hold. Let the heart know it does not have to chase. Let the mind know the guard can rest. You can meet tomorrow when it comes. You can return to the questions with new light. You can make the next choice when you have more strength. For now, there is only this quiet permission. Rest. Not because everything is solved, because you have carried enough. Not because you know what happens next, because you do not need to know tonight. Not because the past no longer matters, because it does not need another hour of your life. You are allowed to release the day. You are allowed to be held. You are allowed to let peace come closer without forcing it. The questions can wait. The heart can loosen. The body can become heavy. The mind can stop working so hard. And the night can quietly carry you toward morning.